May the 3rd, 2075. Rebecca Childress sat at the dining table colouring while her mum watched the morning news. It was these moments, Rebecca recounted many years later, that she loved the most. This day, however, would stick out in her mind, as well as the mind of every human on the planet. Mummy made omelettes again today. I was colouring when I saw Daddy on the holo. I screamed for Mum. Danny started screaming and running around the table. Ugh, so annoying. There he was, standing next to the president. They were talking about space and stuff, which was cool, but he looked so important standing there. We hadn't seen him for so long. He had a beard now. Mummy doesn't like it, but I think it looks funny. Whenever Daddy was about to leave, I asked him why he had to work all the time, and he always told me the same thing. He was trying to give me the stars. Dr. Scott Childress and his team had completed the first self-sustaining quantum drive engine, capable of achieving 1/100th of the speed of light. For the first time, humanity could explore the solar system with unprecedented speed. April 21st, 2113. Unless you've been hiding under a rock the past week, you've no doubt heard of RSI's latest achievement. So let me recap for the rock dwellers. They claim to have designed a machine that can process the atmosphere of a planet to convert it to a sustained oxygen environment, making it habitable for humans. In short, they're talking about terraforming. Yeah, that's right, the stuff of science fiction. I know everyone's excited about the opportunities this presents, but no one seems to be taking a breath and thinking about what this really means. So once again, it's up to me to be the voice of reason in this techno-hysteria. That's right, dear readers, I'm going to ask the question that no one is asking. If we can terraform a planet, why should we? I'll give you a second. Think about that. I'll say it again. Just because we can do something, do we have to? I know the pundits over at SSN TV like to poke fun at me, make me out to be a technophobe, but I'll tell you this. I didn't have a problem with the cloning initiatives. I didn't even have a problem with gene coding to minimise inherited disorders and diseases. Those things were achievements to help make lives better. What is this for? What is it in aid of? At what point are we going too far? Seriously, we're talking about restructuring the very air of a planet. The planets we're talking about were formed like that for a reason. Who are we to assume that the universe wants us to mould planets to benefit us? We aren't gods, and playing around with the fundamental fabric of a planet is arrogant and dangerous. I know this is probably going to fall on deaf ears. The world is too high, basking in our own magnificence. But I promise you, nothing good will come of this. 2120. After years of simulations and tests, the governments of the world pooled their knowledge and resources to attempt the first planetary conversion. The test subject, Mars. Teams of surveyors were dispatched to the planet's surface to generate topographical maps, to decide atmo processor placement and test surface samples for possible contaminants to the new oxygen environment. It was our first top-to-bottom exploration of our nearest planet, and the governments of the world weren't going to leave anything to chance. 13th of September, 2125. Today is a dark day. In the pursuit of human advancement, the history books tend to favour the brave men and women who succeeded. The Wright brothers, the John Glenns, the Edwin Pierces distinguished themselves because they were the ones that did it, that made it through. But around the monolith of every achievement are the bodies of those that tried and failed. Today is a dark day, and today we're going to celebrate the brave men and women who laid down their lives in the tragedy that struck Mars at 4:38 this morning. While the public waits for an official statement regarding what happened, our sources have indicated that a chemical miscalculation in the planetary atmospheric processes made the new atmosphere unstable. The atmosphere didn't stick, said a government official who asked not to be named. The planet was in the final stages of terraforming. An oxygen-sustaining environment had been in place for the past 2 weeks. The scientific community on the planet was still vetting the system, but were 2 days away from officially declaring the planet secure. This confidence in the atmosphere meant that none of the crew were wearing the appropriate breathing apparatus. While technically a violation of operating protocol, we are told that there was no indication for the ground crew to assume that the atmosphere was anything but stable. Whatever was ultimately responsible happened so fast that no one was able to sound an alarm or seal the ventilations of the various installations around the planet. The tragedy will no doubt rekindle the long-standing arguments about the merits of terraforming. In the President's blog statement this morning, she addressed the possibility of an international committee to investigate how to move forward from this. While I understand that the notion of terraforming stirs emotions both for and against, the 4,876 souls died working to push humanity forward. We need to make sure that whatever decision we come to, we move forward honouring the sacrifice made by the heroes of Mars. 2140. While the creation of the RSI quantum drive engine has made our solar system more accessible, it was still the province of governments, the growing corp fleets, and the super wealthy. That was about to change. RSI had been listening and worked to streamline their quantum drive enough to make it commercially viable, and released the Zeus to the market. 2157. After almost 40 years of trial and tragedy, Mars is officially classified as an oxygen-sustaining environment. A memorial to those who passed in the Great Mars Tragedy of 25 is unveiled after the official declaration with Senator Stephen Nguyen as the keynote speaker. This is a transcript of his speech. My brother Sean loved to build. When we were kids, I was the one who played sports and ran for student congress. He was always tinkering with things. It wasn't weird in our house to suddenly come home to the distro box disassembled and arranged on the living room floor, or Sean crawling around the ventilation shafts because he heard a clicking. There was one time, and I could never prove it, but I think he got to the dog. He was 10, mind you. 10 years old and already that gifted. Maybe gifted is the wrong word, because it wasn't just his talent, it was his curiosity and the absolute joy he got from breaking something apart and seeing how all the pieces mattered. As the years went by, we sort of drifted apart. He was just my weird, nerdy little brother who kept taking apart my stuff. We went to school on opposite sides of the world. He studied engineering and physics, a surprise to no one. I did my thing. As adults, we would check in from time to time, but I wouldn't say we were particularly close. More like acquaintances than brothers. We were just too different. I liked the Phoenix 5. He thought they were derivative. I thought the new citizenship program was an important way to reward the people who actively want to build a stronger nation. He thought it was elitist. And so it went. Many years ago, when I won my first district seat, Sean showed up to the victory party. I think an aide must have invited him. To be honest, it never occurred to me to even try. Someone on my staff said they saw him in the corner, obviously uncomfortable around the crowd. He didn't even come talk to me. He just wrote a note and asked someone to give it to me. Here's what it said. Hey Stephen, you look like you had a lot of people to talk to, so I didn't want to interrupt, but I just wanted to say, you're awesome, man. I know we bicker and fight, but it gives me hope that someone who really believes in their convictions is going into government. It's really exciting and I'm so happy for you. Just remember, no matter what ugliness surrounds you, be brave, be yourself, and you'll be fine. My brother Sean. Sean the Destroyer. Sean the Rebuilder. Sean was one of the many lost in the tragedy of 2125. Since then, I've never been able to hear one of his aggravating rants on politics or one of his ridiculously dull ramblings about alloys and stress points. It is a solace that the project that claimed my brother's life has now been completed. This monument, a small consolation compared to the loss of these people, will at least keep their names alive for the rest of humanity to see forever. You know what? Forgive my bluntness, but screw that. I don't want people to look at this memorial and be quiet and introspective. I want the names chiselled into this rock to spark a fire in them, a fire to challenge themselves, to challenge humanity. I want the names on this rock to be a battle cry for all of us to excel, to burst out into the universe and find our destiny. So in the words of my stupid little brother, be brave, everyone. Be yourself, and we'll all be fine.
I was feeling tired and sluggish. I found out that I was allergic to adverts and malware in 2022, which means I can't use the internet. If only there was a service that could help. Wait There is nordvpn.com/BoredGamer. It's NordVPN that I use, and it blasts away a load of my advert and malware-based concerns, while allowing me to freely explore the internet. Maybe I want to be in the USA today, and pretend that I'm an American. What's this? Now I'm down under in the Australias? Wait, now I'm in the UK. Okay, I live there. That is less impressive. NordVPN has done so much for me. Sign up with the links below or go to nordvpn.com/BoredGamer. Every month we have a ship giveaway. For April 2022, we're giving away an Origin 400i. It's a luxury exploration and touring ship, which will be great for a small crew wishing to explore the stars or try out a multitude of other gameplay. It's like a little yacht in space, a little piece of luxury. All you need to do to be in for a chance to win that is comment on any of my videos made during April 2022. More details in the description below. If you wish to further support the channel, consider clicking the join button under my videos to become a channel member or even become a Patreon. That goes a massive way in helping with our day-to-day videos and gives you a variety of little exclusives as well. But it should just make you feel warm and fuzzy inside. Join today! Thanks so much for watching. Please don't forget to like, subscribe and comment if so inclined, and I'll see you in the verse.